Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about President Trump and his ongoing battles with reporters. Usually at press conferences or events or any chance he gets to speak, really, he's having reporters kind of yell at him. Even at his own press conferences in a designed way to give reporters a chance to speak with him in a professional manner, these reporters still act like crazy lunatics. They yell at him, they interrupt the president, they don't listen to him, they ask leading questions. It's gotten really, really bad recently, and things have happened once again. We're going to talk about a new video today where President Trump was trying to sign a bill, and then he had to shush a few reporters who kept trying to yell at him during the moment, trying to ruin the moment. It comes across as really rude by them, but at the same time, like with a lot of these stories, the left is reporting on it in the opposite way. So there's these two movie situations where we see the movie as Trump is batting down rude reporters who are acting like children, but they see it as, oh, Trump is not going to answer the questions. He's denying the people justice. They try to act like he's being the rude person when really it's obvious that he's not. Anyone else that watches this is going to see that. So we're going to go over the sides of that today. We're going to talk about why President Trump handled them pretty well, as best as he could, but he's got a lot of people coming after him. So it is a tough situation. It's really lose-lose because Trump is just batting down crazies. But we're going to go over all that today and more. We're going to get to the video, talk about some comments and stuff too. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. With all the lawlessness we've seen recently with businesses and churches being looted and robbed and burned, it may be a good idea for current or future weapon owners to obtain a legal concealed carry permit. At this rate, there's very little our slow-moving lawmakers and brave law enforcement agencies can do to keep up and keep us all safe. So you might be asking yourself, what can we do about it? Well, for starters, there are companies that offer concealed carry certification courses just like this one, and it's the fastest and easiest way to get a concealed carry permit. And you could do it right now in just a few minutes. It's quick, easy, and very affordable too. So make sure you check out that exclusive link below, and thanks for your time. Now, back to the show. Great, and remember, these deep discounts at concealed carry are only offered to the NoBS audience. And also, when you guys support our sponsors, you're supporting the show as well. So think about it if you're interested and you have the time. Now on to the show. Today we're talking more about Trump, of course, and this whole speech that happened at a recent bill signing. We have some video and also an article from Reddit to go over. Reddit is a website we haven't visited recently, and they're known to be really, really left-leaning. I think I don't visit it as much anymore because it's so biased. It's so hard to even go there. A few years back, it actually used to be way cooler when they let the Trump people have their subreddit. The Donald used to be on there, and there used to be other pages, but that's been deleted. You can't even have a conservative subreddit anymore. And all their stories tend to lean left and be really biased. You could tell by the headlines and what gets promoted on there. And today's story is really no different. This is the post. It comes from Cringe on Reddit. It says, Trump shushes reporters' questions on racism while he praises new NASDAQ highs and job numbers. So it's obviously trying to give it this angle, this bad tint to what's happening. And as I kind of briefly went over in the intro, you can see what really happened is the president was getting yelled at by reporters who were yelling stuff at him at this event. It's weird. It's like just yelling at someone on the side of the street or something. You're asking them questions in the wrong time, in the wrong setting, in the wrong way. And they're trying to frame it up as, oh, he's avoiding questions about racism. Racism is far more important than NASDAQ and job numbers. How could he talk about those job numbers? And you're going to find out that this whole premise isn't really wholly true. He doesn't even mention that stuff. I think the bill has to do with jobs and getting people back to work, which is really important. I don't know why that's supposed to not be important. I know they're all focused on racism, but it's where's the racism even at? What's racist out there? How is that affecting your lives? Jobs, on the other hand, people need to make money. People need to work. I want this economy to go back. I want to get ads again and get more support online, get people buying and selling and get the market moving. And, stuff like that actually affects our lives. Racism, where is even the racism? I know that they're marching and rioting and demonstrating about it all the time, but I'm where is it? I'm not seeing examples of it. The one case that we have to talk about over the last week, that tragic death, there was no proven racism there. I still haven't seen any proof, at least. So the whole racism angle is just a tried, played out, dumb premise that doesn't work, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's just kind of a desperate attempt at the liberals to try and stay relevant. Okay, now we'll get to the video. Here's the video of the president. It's from USA Today, and it says a little something different. It says President Trump shushes reporters' questions as he praises job numbers, and then there's a lot of dislikes. So I think the general consensus is, mixed. They're not all happy with the way this video and everything is premised.
Mr. President, why don't you have a plan to systemic racism? President, why haven't you laid out a plan to address systemic racism?
I'd like to sign this bill. This is a very different thing. And by the way, what's happened to our country and what you now see, it's been happening, is the greatest thing that can happen for race relations, for the African American community, for the Asian American, for the Hispanic American community.
So basically, already we could see just some wild reporter in the back yelling at the president. It's not the question taking time. It's not the time to talk about stuff. He has plenty of press conferences too. The president isn't avoiding questions. Like, he's not some kind of scared, he's not like, hiding from the people or something. Like, he has press conferences like every day. He answers them all the time. But this situation, he's sitting down to sign a bill. This is a ceremony. This might seem a little bit of a publicity thing. It's like a photo op too. That's part of it. That's part of the whole process. You need to advertise the bills. Bills getting passed and signed are a big situation. And what he's saying here is, these jobs and this positive effect on our economy is going to help all these communities. Like, what better way to help the country and the communities than get people back to work, give people money, give people stuff to buy, food, feed your family. Like, that creates happiness. That creates good situations where people aren't going crazy and getting upset about everything and losing their minds. Like, that's what happened with the close down, because that's why those demonstrations and all that strife got worse, is because those people were angry. They were at home. They had nothing to do. And they're also probably more and more upset because they're not making money. They're not working. Lives are getting worse. People are losing jobs and family and all kinds of stuff. So yes, this job thing is important, and people that don't realize that, they just don't know how the world works. Like, they're so focused on the racism and the whole negative aspect, these kinds of things, that they've really just blown up in their own minds. Like, racism is an abstract thing, okay? It's not like an actual, none of these things they're talking about, what I would call real racism, is a concrete thing. Like, if you say a racial slur and someone sees you or catches it on video, that's a concrete action and saying something. But these guys don't think racism that way. They think of it like, racism is everywhere and all white people are racist and black people are oppressed and they can't bring themselves up because of this systemic racism that's everywhere. It's like this kind of thing in the air. It's like the Force in Star Wars. The Force is everywhere. It binds you. And that's what they feel about racism. And that's why I say, in their case, they're just talking about these like hypothetical boogeyman that they made up. It's something they scare themselves with. Really, real people should be scared about not having money and jobs and places to work and things to do to make living for their family.
For women, for everything.
What's your plan?
Because our country is so strong, and that's what my plan is. We're going to have the strongest economy in the world. We almost are there now. We had the strongest economy anywhere in the world, and now we're going to have an economy that's even stronger.
So, okay, they're about to go at him again. You could already hear her interrupting, like he was trying to speak there. So first, they're just kind of yelling from the back while he's sitting down. Nothing's being said. And then he kind of responds, and then they cut him off. They're cutting him off. They're going, cut. Just totally rude. This would be rude to any person, like particularly if you know the person or you're trying to be professional at work. These guys are at work. They're supposed to be reporters at a professional setting, but they're acting like crazies, like they're acting like children. And yeah, they're cutting them off, and then they're loading up these questions that are really biased too. Like, these questions aren't fair. These questions are like loaded, and they're not designed to have an answer at all, really. They're kind of like just statements they form into a question. Well, they'll say something really convoluted and just kind of try to throw a got you at the president. And it's just poor form, classless behavior. And I can't believe they're trying to spread this around. Like I was saying, we found this on Reddit and shared it a few other places. Like, they're trying to act like this is a bad thing. And it just goes to show that like the liberals either don't care or understand how things work and what Trump is going for. Like we were saying, like he just said, like rebuilding the economy, having a really strong economy, people underestimate how much that'll help everything. Like everything. It doesn't really sound like it's directly related to racism or, people getting into trouble. Police brutality is an issue people bring up, but all those things are going to get better in a good economy. A country that's stronger and making more money, everyone's happier across the board. And it's just like, it'll make you less likely to be offended or be upset or be possibly racist. Like, I'm sure there are some racist out there. I know that happens. I'm not denying its total existence, but it's definitely overblown and not as important as these people think. And they don't understand that Trump is trying to help the problem by making the economy better.
How would a better economy? Yeah, just to follow up, how would a better economy have protected George Floyd? Sure, I'll ask after. Will you take questions after, sir?
Black unemployment went up by 0.1%. Asian American unemployment went up by 0.5%. How is that a victory?
Oh my God. See how it's like, it's not even a question, really. It's like she loads a question at the end after she says these statistics that are really negligible. She said 0.1% of blacks went up in unemployment, point something of Asians went up in unemployment, and then how is that a victory? So it's two statements and then a small question at the end to try to feign some kind of journalistic integrity that's clearly gone, clearly not there. And yeah, those numbers are totally negligible, and obviously they would go up in this kind of situation. We're talking about the whole world is getting their markets messed with, the economies are wrecked. We had to shut down for months, like unemployment's up across the board. So yeah, those people are going to have a little more, this fraction of a percent. And that's why Trump's trying to fix it. And even the reporters don't understand it. Like we speculated that before, but it's pretty clear because the guy is even asking, he's like, how is a good economy going to stop this or that or racism or whatever? Like, they don't get it. They really cannot see. They're not playing chess. They're playing checkers. That's why they say Trump plays 4D chess, because he can make the moves and have the plays in his head and see like 5 or 6 moves ahead. He knows what your possible moves are and gonna kind of plan a defense for that. And luckily we can kind of see the game in action. We're like the viewers of like a great chess match, and we're on the sidelines, and we actually are, a few of us knew a few things. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not saying I'm nearly as smart as some of these people, these actors in the actual game, but yeah, we know enough to know what they're going for. It's like a commentator. We're like the NBA announcers saying, oh, look, he did that pass and he pivoted here and he saved his breath there. We're seeing the moves in action. It's pretty fun to watch.
You are something.
How is that a victory?
Thank you very much.
Okay, that wraps it up. Just him signing the bill, some reporters being rude. He shushed them a little bit, but do you really see the big deal? Like we're saying, like how they try to angle it against Trump and kind of like say he's the worst and he did something wrong here. Like, clearly the reporters are acting a fool again. They're acting like children. They don't know how to do their job right. They don't know anything about integrity and professionalism. And yeah, they shouldn't be yelling crap while the president's doing, like, there's a time for questions, And yeah, that about wraps things up. As you can see, it's a biased take on a terrible situation that Trump has to deal with. And sure, it doesn't come off perfect for him either. I mean, he's getting blasted by these reporters. He handles it as best as he can, but it's really like a lose-lose situation. These reporters look bad. They make Trump look bad. I mean, I don't think he looks nearly as bad, though. Like, he's just kind of in the middle of this mess, and it's just like, it sucks for him. He's trying to do his best. He's trying to get these things done and save this country, and he has to deal with these crazy people like every day. These reporters are yelling at him. They're yelling at him in the middle of these events, when he's walking to the car, when he's getting on and off an airplane or something. They're constantly coming at him. So you got to admit that he has handled it well, considering all this bad stuff he has to deal with. That about wraps things up. Time to comment your thoughts on everything below. Tell me what you think about this story, about Trump shushing reporters. Who's right? Who's wrong? Is Trump really changing the topic to jobs a bad thing, or do the reporters not really understand how powerful a good economy can be? Comment that and all your other thoughts below. Also, hit that like button to help support this video, help us get shared, and until next time, you guys have a great day.